Alpine's Hemp Company. Gummies, seltzers, syrups, and more. Treat yourself to the best.
I'm Rob Eastwood here on the WHKY News. Let's take a look back now at some of the top crime stories we had for you during the week of September 8th through the 12th. A suspect reportedly confessed to possessing child sexual abuse material. 22-year-old Jonathan Clinton Reeves of Harmony was arrested last Thursday by Iredell County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with 10 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. On February 21st of this year, the Iredell County Sheriff's Office received a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The tip contained 27 files of suspected child sexual abuse material. A search warrant was obtained for the suspect's Dropbox account, the platform identified in the cyber tip. Additional files of child sexual abuse material were found. The suspect was interviewed and, according to police reports, provided a full confession. Reeves was transported to the Iredell County Detention Center, where he was incarcerated under a $100,000 secured bond. More charges are possible. A Hickory man is charged with sexual exploitation in Alexander County. 37-year-old Jeremy Thomas Nelson was arrested Saturday by Alexander County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with 1 count of first-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and 1 count of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Nelson was brought to the Alexander County Detention Center under a $250,000 secured bond. He was scheduled to appear in district court today. The case remains under investigation. A Mooresville man is charged with break-in and theft counts. 55-year-old Douglas Paul Mashburn was arrested by Iredell County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with offenses including felony counts of breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, and obtaining property by false pretense. On August 30th, deputies with the Iredell County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a residential break-in on East Barkley Road in Statesville. The homeowner reported that numerous items had been stolen and shared security camera footage showing a man unlawfully entering the residence was obtained. Through the investigation, the suspect was identified as Douglas Paul Mashburn. Investigators also learned that some of the stolen property had been pawned at a local shop. Later that same day, deputies conducted a traffic stop on Mashburn's vehicle. During the stop, deputies found burglary tools and drug paraphernalia. Mashburn was taken into custody and transported to the Iredell County Detention Center. Because Mashburn was already out on bond for unrelated charges, he was held without bond at the Iredell County Detention Center. A district court date is set for September 22nd. A Hickory man is charged with multiple trafficking counts. 45-year-old Christopher David Buchanan was arrested last Thursday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. According to information released on Monday, he is charged with trafficking methamphetamine, trafficking opium, maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a felon, simple possession of Schedule II controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. On Thursday, investigators with the Catawba County Sheriff's Office Narcotics and Criminal Investigations Division searched a residence on Greedy Highway as part of an ongoing investigation into a recent overdose death. During the search, investigators seized approximately 231 grams of methamphetamine, approximately 10 grams of fentanyl, 3 firearms, drug paraphernalia, and just under $4,000 in U.S. currency. Buchanan was booked into the Catawba County Detention Facility without bond. His next court date is set for September 24th. The investigation is ongoing.
All right, thanks, Rob. A New York man facing drug charges after being pulled over in Iredell County. 28-year-old Paul Daniel Sanchez of Port Chester, New York, was arrested by Iredell County Sheriff's Department ICE team. This happened on Wednesday, September 3rd on Interstate 77. Deputies stopped Sanchez behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz with New York tags for a traffic violation. Sanchez told deputies he was traveling from Charlotte to New York While speaking to Sanchez, deputies suspected some criminal activity after seeing drug paraphernalia in plain sight inside the vehicle. Search of the vehicle led to the discovery of 600 THC vape cartridges valued at approximately $18,000 to $20,000. Sanchez was taken into custody and charged with felony possession with intent to sell and distribute a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, maintaining a vehicle for the use of controlled substance, along with misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Sanchez received a $75,000 secured bond. He's due back in court on September 25th. I'm David Cedrone, WHKY News.
29-year-old Tremaine Brown was arrested this past Sunday by Taylorsville police. He's charged with possession of a firearm by a felon, concealing a firearm, concealing a weapon, possession of drug paraphernalia, and equipment violation. Sunday at approximately 1:45 a.m., an officer with the Taylorsville Police Department conducted a traffic stop on a blue Dodge Dakota for a headlight violation on Lyledown Road. The vehicle stopped in the Food Lion parking lot on West Main Avenue. The driver, identified as Tremaine Brown, was found to be a convicted felon currently on probation. During the investigation, officers reportedly observed suspicious behavior and conducted a search of the vehicle. A concealed firearm, an additional magazine, a switchblade, and a glass meth pipe with residue were reportedly recovered. Two suspects are charged in a fraud case. 22-year-old Delverio Devon Boyce Jr. and 62-year-old Ernest Glenn Burrish Jr., both of Charlotte, were arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. Boyce is charged with attempted obtaining property by false pretense, possession of a firearm by a felon, identity theft, and carrying a concealed weapon. Burris is charged with attempted obtaining property by false pretense and identity theft. On Friday, deputies with the Catawba County Sheriff's Office responded to the Fifth Third Bank in Denver after banking personnel reported two individuals believed to be committing fraud. It was reported that one individual was attempting to access another person's funds using a fraudulent ID to initiate a transfer. Both suspects were arrested and charged. Boyce received an $11,000 secured bond and made a first court appearance this past Monday. Burris received a $5,000 secured bond. His next court date is set for September 29. A man is charged with stealing catalytic converters. 44-year-old Cody Sherrill Spite of Wind Forest Drive in Statesville was arrested on September 5th by Iredell County Sheriff's officers. According to the Iredell County Sheriff's Office, he is charged with 11 counts of felony possession of catalytic converters. He's also charged with misdemeanor counts of simple possession of Schedule 4 controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. On September 3rd, an Iredell County Sheriff's deputy conducted a traffic stop on Salisbury Highway in Statesville on a vehicle driven by Cody Sherrill Spite. A canine officer alerted to the presence of narcotics in the vehicle. A search uncovered 25.5 alprazolam pills. During the search, the officer also discovered 11 catalytic converters in the trunk. When questioned, Spite claimed ownership of a recycling business in Rowan County and produced limited documentation. To ensure the matter was thoroughly investigated, a deputy photographed the catalytic converters, collected Spite's information, and forwarded it to the Criminal Investigation Division for follow-up. Another detective checked on the business information Spite provided and discovered the recycling permits for precious metals had expired and that both business addresses were vacant. Last Friday, Spite was arrested by the Davidson County Sheriff's Office after allegedly attempting to sell some of the stolen catalytic converters. While in custody at the Davidson County Detention Center, he was served with the warrants obtained in Iredell County. A suspect was arrested in Alexander County for allegedly providing a firearm to a person who was not allowed to possess one. Miranda Warren of Taylorsville was arrested this past Sunday by Taylorsville police officers. She's charged with felony aid and abet, possession of a firearm by a felon, and misdemeanor obstructing an investigation. The warrants were obtained for Warren for allegedly allowing a firearm to be in the possession of a convicted felon. According to our news partner WACB, during the investigation, Warren made multiple statements and later posted a comment on social media admitting the firearm belonged to her and that she had placed it in a vehicle she knew would be operated by Tremaine Brown. We previously reported on Brown's arrest here on WHKY. Warren received a $5,000 bond. Her next district court date is set for September 22nd. New information has been released regarding the investigation into a fire in Burke County in which 2 people were found deceased. Both victims were found to have suffered gunshot wounds at the scene of the blaze. That information was released today. The fire occurred August 31st at a home on Swink Street in the Antioch section of Burke County. The victims were identified as 76-year-old Joseph Kincaid Bird Jr. and 63-year-old Michael Curtis Halliburton, both of Morganton. The Burke County Sheriff's Office is continuing to investigate the case. Other agencies involved in the investigation are the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, United States Marshal's Office, U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Virginia State Police, and the Hickory Police Department. The Sheriff's Office will continue to follow up on incoming leads and use all available resources during the investigation. They are asking anyone with information related to this case to call 828-764-9558. Crime Stoppers tips can remain anonymous, and individuals who provide information leading to the arrest of the suspect or suspects may be eligible for a $2,000 cash reward. A Vail man is charged with damaging state property by illegally digging a trench as part of a reported dispute. 55-year-old Aaron Dale Upton was arrested by Lincoln County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony damage to real property. Upton had previously been released from jail after being charged with assault by pointing a firearm and communicating threats stemming from a dispute with a neighbor. Upon being released from jail on those charges, Upton reportedly returned to Jake Siegel Road. Police say he dug a large trench which was estimated to be 70 feet long, 2 feet wide, and 2 feet deep. You're looking at that trench right now. It was dug directly along the right-of-way of Jake Siegel Road, inches away from public vehicular lanes of travel. According to a news release, this trench not only impacted his neighbor's access to their driveway, but it also compromised the integrity of the roadway and created an extremely dangerous situation for everyday commuters traveling on Jake Siegel Road. The North Carolina Department of Transportation was informed of the situation. On Wednesday, deputies responded back to the address to meet with NCDOT. After completing their investigation, police had enough evidence to receive a warrant for the arrest of Upton. He was placed in jail under no bond. Conover residents are charged with drug trafficking. 43-year-old Matthew Charles Day and 59-year-old Lori Lee Hammonds, both of the same County Home Road Conover address, were arrested by Iredell County Sheriff's officers. They're each charged with felony counts of trafficking methamphetamine by possession and transport and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Day is also charged with felony maintaining a vehicle for controlled substance. On Sunday, September 7th at approximately 3:30 p.m., an Iredell County Sheriff's officer conducted a traffic stop on a Nissan Sentra traveling on Scotts Creek Road. The driver was identified as Hammonds, the passenger as Day. While speaking with both individuals, deputies noticed inconsistent stories and suspicious behavior. The occupants gave consent to a search of the vehicle. During the investigation, deputies found drug paraphernalia and methamphetamine on the individuals, as well as inside the vehicle. In total, deputies reportedly seized 31 grams of meth. That meets the threshold for trafficking charges. Both Hammonds and Day were taken into custody and transported to the Iredell County Detention Center. Hammonds received a $225,000 secured bond. Day, who was already out on bond for unrelated charges, was booked with no bond. Both suspects are scheduled to appear in district court September 29th. This has been our weekly review of some of the crime stories we had for you during the week of September 8th through the 12th. The weekly summary is posted every Saturday on the WHKY YouTube channel, along with our top stories, the crime report, local sports, and community focus. I'm Rob Eastwood, and thank you so much for watching the WHKY News.